They thought the bunker had been abandoned for decades. But someone was already living deep underground, and they insisted the group was not the first version of themselves. In 2012, a sealed Cold War bunker was reopened in Nevada. It was located about 60 feet below an abandoned testing zone. No official records showed any recent human presence inside. 3 contractors were sent for a routine structural inspection. Ethan Cole, Laura Bennett, and Michael Grant led the team. They expected dust, silence, and empty concrete corridors. But from the moment they entered, something felt wrong. Fresh footprints crossed a sealed emergency corridor. A radio inside was already powered on and softly humming. Even stranger, a logbook was placed on the main control desk. It was dated only 3 days before their arrival. The handwriting matched Ethan Cole's signature perfectly. The final entry read, "You are not the first attempt." After that, the pages were blank, except for one repeated sentence across every sheet. "We remember what you will forget." The group decided to continue the inspection anyway. The bunker layout matched standard Cold War design. Long corridors, reinforced doors, and heavy concrete walls. But the deeper they went, the more things changed. Room labels had been replaced with new metal plates. Some doors were marked with their own names. Laura saw her name engraved on a storage locker. Inside were items she had never seen before. Among them was a photograph of her inside the bunker. But the image was dated 5 years earlier. Michael tried to explain it as a setup or experiment. He suggested sabotage or psychological manipulation. Then they heard movement inside the ventilation system. Slow, synchronized, matching their exact pace. As if something was tracking them through the walls. Ethan found a partially open maintenance tunnel. Inside, the lights were already working without power. A second logbook was placed near the generator core. The handwriting inside belonged to Michael. It described events that had not yet happened, including their own arrival in the bunker. The final warning read, "Do not meet the operator." But before they could react, the doors sealed shut behind them. The lighting shifted to emergency red. A calm voice echoed through the intercom system. It addressed each of them by name. The voice said it already knew their entire history. It explained the bunker had been running in cycles. Each team was another version of the same group. Laura refused to believe what she was hearing. But then she saw a figure at the end of the corridor. It looked like Ethan, but older and exhausted. He introduced himself as Iteration 0 Ethan and said they were not the original versions, only repeated copies of the same pattern. Michael tried contacting the surface, but nothing worked. Every signal had already been recorded before it was sent. Even their distress calls existed in advance. The duplicate, Ethan said, everything always ends the same way. One of them would disappear within minutes. He showed a log listing previous missing teams. Laura's name was already marked as removed. At that exact moment, she vanished without sound. No impact, no trace, no resistance. Only her voice lingered briefly in the air. The remaining 2 realized time was not linear here. It was looping through controlled repetitions. Later, declassified bunker files were recovered. They described dozens of identical operational cycles, each one ending in partial team disappearance. Official reports labeled it a non-linear containment failure. But no agency ever explained what controlled the system. The bunker was eventually sealed and erased from maps. Ethan's final recorded message remained intact. He stated escape was never part of the design, only observation of repeated human collapse. Some believe the bunker is still active underground. Occasionally, signals appear on dead radio frequencies, always repeating names of people who no longer exist. The final archived line never changes. We are still waiting for the correct version. And if stories like this raise questions for you, subscribe to the channel. More cases are documented here that official records refuse to acknowledge.